On this week's edition of Chewing the Hay, we've got CA Technologies Brumbies prop Ben Alexander and also Wallabies prop. Ben, firstly, you sustained a knee injury in the first domestic Wallabies match of the season down here in Canberra against Fiji, which kept you out of the whole Tri-Nations. But you've had a little bit of footy under your belt with Eastwood now in the Shoot Shield. How is the knee feeling?
Yeah, it's feeling really good. Tim McGrath, physio, and Doc Angus Bathgate done a really good job in coordination with Hank, Marcus Kane, our Brums trainer. So done all the work, knee's feeling great. Felt really good on the weekend in our preliminary final with Woodies, but unfortunately we lost. So hopefully I've done enough to get myself, put my hand up to get on that tour, and yeah, there's still be another month of training, so I'll be ready to go if I'm selected.
How special was it packing down in an all Brumbies front row to take on Fiji at Canberra Stadium in the Wallabies' first hit out of the season?
It was awesome. I'm really good friends with Huey and Celeste, and they were making their debuts, so to be there with them, and especially with Celeste scrumming against his brother Campo, sort of, it's a special moment. Always love playing at Bruce Stadium. It's my favourite stadium. Got a lot of really good memories there from games with the Brumbies, and it was just a special occasion, and hopefully we'll get to do it again in the future.
As you mentioned, Randwick knocked you out on the weekend, getting through to the Shoot Shield grand final. How much of a missed opportunity was that, given that you guys were the minor premiers?
Yeah, it's big missed opportunity. We sort of unlucky a couple of our execution on a couple of tries. Obviously, poor Lockie McCaffrey unfortunately broke his ankle trying to score a try. That sort of, he didn't break his ankle and scored. And then we had another try. We sort of let slip with a forward pass. Randwick, to their credit, they took every opportunity they had, and they built pressure in that second half, and it was just really disappointing after a really good, consistent year by all the blokes, especially guys like Lockie McCaffrey and that who got hurt. They put in the yards, and to not be in the grand final is very disappointing.
You'll now focus your attention to the spring tour preparations, which you've been involved in previous years. So, what will this entail?
Yeah, it'd be mostly the guys that have missed out on the Tri-Nations that have brought into the squad, to sort of them getting up to date with the plays and the structures and stuff. So hopefully that won't take too long, but also be a lot of fitness with guys not playing week in, week out. I know the first game against New Zealand in Hong Kong, they'll all be still playing with the All Blacks because they still have club footy finals to go to. So with their NPC, so it'll be a lot of fitness to try and make up for not playing over the next few weekends.
And you've been a part of 2 spring tours already. How do the Northern Hemisphere sides, and in particular the set piece, compare to that of the Southern Hemisphere sides?
There's just a massive emphasis on it. It's a lot of the Northern Hemisphere sides, the set piece is their game. If they can control the set piece, scrum and line, then they control the game. Whereas in the Southern Hemisphere, it's still important, but there's a much bigger emphasis on the ball in play. That's probably a bit more of an emphasis in the Tri-Nations, what you do when the ball's in play, not how you get the ball in play. Whereas in the north, especially in their provincial competition, the Guinness Premiership and the top 14, winning the scrum and line out battle gets you pretty much over the line to winning games up there in the north in the wet conditions, which is another reason why they put such a big emphasis on the set piece.
And are you confident that you'll retain your spot in the side?
No, not confident at all. The guys that have been there, done a tremendous job. They learned. A lot of guys made the debuts, and obviously there's. They had a few hiccups in their first couple of games against England, but they all improved and they all played extremely well throughout the Tri-Nations, so not confident at all. Just hoping to get somewhere in the squad and then train really hard over the next month to sort of press my case, to hopefully then get at least one run, and if I get a chance, whatever game it be, I just make sure I take it and try and hopefully build my way back in the 22.
Game 2 of the spring tour is in Twickenham, which has been dubbed the home of rugby. Where and who do you like playing against the most?
Yeah, Twickenham's pretty special. I've grown up, watching Australia vs England battles, and to be part of my first one last year at Twickenham was unbelievable. It's a great stadium. That and probably Millennium Stadium in Cardiff when the roof's closed, 75,000 fans. It's unbelievable. It's something you can't describe until you're there. They'd be the 2 best. And also Stade de France in Paris is pretty special as well.
Who's the toughest opponent that you've come up against?
On my first, probably Nicolas Mas, the French tight end. He's also the Perpignan captain. He's extremely good scrummager. Obviously the Owen Franks from the Crusaders is going to be a very good player. He's pretty tough. Tony Woodcock, Ben Robinson at training, scrummaging against him is tough. So From the spring tours, I have to say Nicholas Muss is the one that sort of I struggle the most playing against.
And finally, what would you say your greatest rugby moment is so far in your career?
Greatest moment would be probably my last game on the sprint tour last year when we absolutely pumped Wales after losing to Scotland the week before. We came out and put our best performance. That'd be right up there. I've been unfortunate to miss the 2 wins we've had in South Africa over the last 3 years. I was there in Durban sitting on the sideline but didn't get to play and watch the boys in Bloemfontein this year, and that'd be up there if I'd have played. But definitely say the win in Wales, to be part of that and we played so well is pretty special.
Okay, Ben, thanks for your time.
No worries.